Hauser for hosting and for all you do for poetry. And again, thank you, Jack Jacks, for having us here. This is a good night already. I can feel it. So we're going to jump right in here. I got a lot of stuff. I always have a lot of stuff. The first thing I'm going to read from everybody who knows me knows that if you have a free code from Shutterfly, what do? You make a poetry book, right? So my latest poetry book from Shutterfly is called I'm with the Bands, because I used to be a wannabe groupie. And we're going to play some games. It's going to be fun, I promise. So some of these poems have epigraphs that are song lyrics, and I'll say it, and then you're going to shout out like the name of the song or the artist, and then you get a prize. Woo! All right, so participation already. I'm forcing it. Okay, jumping right in. Here we go. So the first one is, she says, "Tell me, are you a Christian child?" I say, "Ma'am, I am tonight."
Walking in
Who got it first?
Oh my God.
Yeah, you did.
Wayne
So,
was
yeah. One of my favorite songs
me.
in the world. And you can put your hands in the bag and you can grab. It's either going to be a stick or a magnet. And they're music clues.
Thank you.
So you're welcome. Let's give it up for Wayne. Wayne from you. Welcome back.
Wayne.
And the poem is called Selective Religion. Tonight, he's a Christian in the Church of Latter-day Bluesmen, and his cross hangs beside a disco ball. The gospel weaves through sticks, echoes in hollowed-out guitars, emerges black and white through keys from high note to low. A man turned to a child mesmerized by spotlight-colored lights, the light shone down from high rafters beyond rapture and cosmic bliss. He calls all women ma'am before the rock gods, while on the inside he dreams of the kiss. The slap, the timing, the striking of lips to trumpet tip, fingers to harp strings, toes tapping as the downtrodden sing, to raise themselves up, eyes up, heads up, faces up, 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 arms waving in synchronicity to beg, to thank, to sing a tune by Leonard Cohen. Sung over and over in all voices and shades, because tonight we are all children in the Church of Tennessee.
Oh, yeah.
Hey, ready? Ears open. I get up to wash my face. When I come back to bed, someone's taken my place.
Cecilia.
Ooh, yes.
Oh, my God.
I think two people got that. Who got it? Yeah.
One of those songs with like 1,000
So
words.
that's Cecilia by Simon and Garfunkel. Congratulations. And Tony, did you say it too? You said it second. Put your hands in the bag and grab something. There you go. All right, there you go. And we're being serenaded by Russ. Thank you. Okay. All right, this is called Placement. She switches partners swiftly, keeps them on literal standby. Standing in the hall by the door, standing in a corner by the bed, standing in a closet by the night table, to replenish the empty space while it still holds warmth. She prefers the warmth of two bodies over one, over synthetic warmth from comforters that show no compassion. She prefers warmth over the chill of oneness, one cake toothbrush, one cold key, one plate on the shelf, clean. So we have one more from here, and it requires audience participation. Otherwise, I'm just going to be standing here acting the fool. So everybody's participating. We're all doing it already, so it's great. One of my favorite things in the world is sea shanties. So we're going to learn one, and we're all going to sing it together, and it's going to be fine. Okay. So my favorite sea shanty is called John Kanakanaka. Can everybody say that? John Kanakanaka?
John Kanakanaka.
Great. Okay, so you have half of the refrain already. So the first part of the refrain is John Kanakanaka, and the next is Tu-Rai-A. Can everybody say Tu-Rai-A?
Tu-Rai-A.
See, we got it already. So now we're going to put it all together. John Kanakanaka, Tu-Rai-A.
John Kanakanaka Tu-Rai-A.
Okay, we're getting there. Okay. So the beat of it is John Kanakanaka, Tu-Rai-A. Your turn.
Kanakanaka Tu-Rai-A.
Okay, we got it. So I'm going to point to me, and that's when I go. And then I'm going to point to you, and that's when you go. And it's every other line, and it's really quick, and you're great already. Is everybody ready?
Yeah.
Okay, here we go. Great. I thought I heard the bosun say,
John Kanaka Tu-Rai-A.
there's work tomorrow, but no work today.
John Kanaka Tu-Rai-A.
Tu-Rai-A, oh, Tu-Rai-A.
John Kanaka Tu-Rai-A.
Again.
John Kanakanaka Tu-Rai-A.
Last time.
John Kanakanaka Tu-Rai-A.
Give yourselves a round of applause. It did. It was all you, and I'm doing no work here. Okay, this is called Listening to My Mother's South Street Seaport album, 1978. Vinyl crackles in the blue room downstairs, skipping over 2 Rye, and instead sticking on the refrain about the old dun cow on fire. And no one bumps the table, and no one moves the arm. So the sad song plays stuck to the spot, a dust ball collecting on the needle tip until it grows so big that the needle skips itself to a new ridge. A new lamenting sea tune swells from speakers to walls, rising up the staircase and down the hall, flowing rampant into a new room, vibrating from outer edge to inner label on both A and B, bringing what's out there a little bit closer to home. Vibrating from inland to the oceans, where the same song plays in hearts of sailors, far from soft beds, cotton wives with curlers, powder fresh, soft flesh. Instead, stuck with yellow slickers slick with spray. The only thought keeping them adrift is the grog and the moors and the bosun's last whistle. The only true movement is the stomping rubber boots on wooden planks to the uncertain tune of heading back to shore. By the way, you're all getting stickers for singing with me, so no worries, no worries, yeah. Okay, and so speaking of the ocean, I'm going to read 2 from Liberating the Astronauts, and so this requires my one costume change. My hair over here. This is my mermaid hair. I used to have hair that went down to here, so it was more mermaid-like, but this is called Mermaid on the Moon. Now nestles in a sea of tranquility. Her glances back at Earth in frequent black longing. A soul with a body, not a body with a soul, she tells herself. A long way from Assyria, long time since goddesses took humans as lovers. So long ago, she still trembles with the weight. Float in anti-gravity despite the heavy core, she tells herself. A mistake, an accident, years and penance can heal. Gray popped well, crags and hills and hidden vales, the last refuge of escape. First, she wept a pool of aquamarine drops, but then, finally, the mermaid grew wings. And this is about something, and if you can figure out what it's about, you win a prize. Skyscape. A bright peg, a peg and a puncture. Black construction paper, white dots against black dull stars become holes for rainbow radiance. Constellation plugged into a wall. When removed, turned over a wasp's nest, delicate and shredding. Forever into orbit, black against black and blue, layers float away into belts of debris.
Can I phone a friend?
Is that light bright?
You got it! Yes! Very good! So I have it. Yeah. I got a different bag. So in here there are ring pops, there are blow pops, and there are writing pads that I get for free in the mail. So anything that you want, you can go ahead and grab. Yeah. Hey, congratulations. Okay. So, I got a new book coming out. So exciting. It's called What We Do to Make Us Whole, and it releases on the 31st of this month, and I'm going to have lots of launches next month, and it's going to be great. It's going to be fabulous. So I'm reading 2 from that. Clearly it's not from the book, it's from very large paper. So, that's okay. All right. These are both from the beginning of the book, actually. Incommunicado. We meet in coffee shops and on milk cartons, missed messages mixed over time. Always, in all ways, we light it. There's never enough dark for us, for them. Secret codes wither, we wear only skin. Clear is the color of wind, like missives left in the dead letter office unknown to sender. What they say matters only in previous calendars. We used to meet in parks and hallways, sentiments garbled even with cipher in hand. It's never been workable. A late, too late word at the end of a whispered query. Once it meant something. That once could have been now, or now. Though now and even now we plan to meet at beaches and on boxcars near jailhouses behind aisles under aqueducts. We could, still, but, well, Will is the word that doesn't act as. And the other day, my poetry workshop students asked me what a verb was. So that's where we are in the world today. I was like, you know what a verb is? They're like, an action? I said, yes, why are you asking? So they knew. They just asking. On the plus side, all of what was no one on the outside would call a turbulent relationship exploded. Like the star systems that garner gas until that nova black hole stuff happens. That's what's so surprising, feeling the vacuum unexpected. I'd like instead to think of that feeling as magnetism, like finding like, a hope-sprung gravity from sparkling ash, not black and char, but pink-tinged rainbows that follow me in my wake. Full moons so huge they can't be photographed. Wisped clouds in blue skies and orange sunsets. They've been there all along, and now they're brighter, more alive, just like me. It's longish. It's completely different. Sometimes I make bad decisions. So this summer, I decided, hey, let me start dating again. Oh, can I curse?
You may.
There might be a few curses. So this is kind of sort of based on a semi-true story. Ask me later and I'll tell you which part of it isn't true. It's almost all true. Why you shouldn't date a guy who slides into your DMs. The little app notification pops up. Yet another dude's following you, so you check his profile, and incidentally, he's not the usual across the ocean, same 3 selfies on a sailboat plus 1 dog photo with a bio filled with emojis no one ever uses with the tagline world wander lover type guy who pops up quite frequently. Instead, he's hot, has sexy hair, and seems literate. And because those are your current standards, you follow him back. And you're not surprised to see a new guy pop up because since you decided to put your mojo out into the world to start dating, you've had a barrage of opportunities. Like the cyclist on the boardwalk who gave you a bell ring and a half chin jut. And the truck driver who gave himself whiplash to give you a thumbs up. And the shirtless guy who plays handball in the park and gave you water twice while you were working out, and twice it wasn't roofied. So you gave him your number because, again, standards. But all that led to was him texting you weird music videos from the 70s and messages in which he kept spelling your name with a Z. And so by comparison, literate hot guy with the sexy hair is worth a shot. And as soon as you follow back, he slides into your DMs and he asks you about poetry. And you know that's code for, are you single? So you play along for a few days as the poetry chat gets super sexy. Where are the poetry readings? What poetry book should I read? How was the poetry event last night? So sexy that you DM the guy your number that he's clearly been waiting for, and you level up to texting about meeting up to do all the poetry things in person, which you know is code for, will you go out with me? And then you actually do meet up at poetry things, and then suddenly it turns into actual dating, like dinner and hiking and having feelings and shit, which is completely unexpected since all previous prospects were like the guy who lunged his entire torso out of a van window and shouted at you about your short shorts. So in a whirlwind of a few weeks of very normal dating, you decide DM guy is not a murderer, not trying to steal from you, and that nice guys actually do slide into DMs. And then one morning he texts you, I miss you, and you text back, aw. And an hour later he texts you, we need to talk. Yeah. And you remember that nice guys do not slide into DMs, and think maybe he really does have a sailboat in a foreign land because every guy who's ever needed to talk is a guy you no longer talk to. So you ask, what about? And he calls and he says, I don't want you to hate me. And you say, I don't hate anybody. And he says, I want to be with you. And you say, yeah, me too. And he says, in my mind, I'm committed to you. And you say, we haven't discussed it, but sure. And then you start to feel silly because this is all good stuff. And maybe we need to talk can be a good thing. And then he says, a woman I dated over a year ago who moved overseas is coming back here to live with me for a month. And you say what now? And he says, can we pick up where we leave off after the month? And you say, come again. And he says, cordial like friends. And you say, one more time, huh? And he says, what kind of tea can I keep for you at my house for when you sleep over? And you say, what the fuck? I'm about to burn him and his stupid hair and energy. And immediately you text your entire tribe of trusted friends. And they all respond with, what the fuck? And also vow to burn him and his stupid hair and effigy. And as you start to feel better about all the burning that's about to go down, you realize that because you told him about all the poetry things in the DMs, that he's going to be at all the poetry things in person, and you're going to have to see his hot face and listen to his bad poetry that you told him was good because his face was so hot. And then the next night, you go to the poetry thing by yourself, and he's at the poetry thing by himself. And he says, want to hang out? And you say, what the actual fuck? And at the very same moment, your text message dings. And you see it's the shirtless handball man whom you haven't heard from in weeks, sending you a Cheech and Chong video saying he wants to be friends with benefits, and he manages to spell all of that using several Z's. Yeah, he does, it's true. You immediately decide to pull all that dating mojo right back up into your hoo-ha, and then you're going to keep it under lock and key until you can figure out a set of standards that's more than he's hot, he's literate, he didn't roofie me. And then you grab your phone and you delete all of the apps with the DMs so no one can slide near you ever again. And that is my time. Thank you so much.